the consequences will be so severe that even those who in power will not be understanding. Any attempt to cheat in 2029, any attempt to cheat in 2029, some of our friends who want to cheat in 2029, the consequence will be severe, will not be understanding. The countries of democracy and the result, the person who will win the election will be the person who will take power. CDC, get ready for Joe Weah to come back. But for you to be ready, you want Joe Weah to come back? You want Joe Weah to come back? Each area will go out in the street and start recruiting. You go in the community where you live and start recruiting. 2029 will be at the police. Any attempt to cheat, any attempt to wreck the election, the consequences will be so severe that even those who in power will not be understanding. Any attempt to cheat in 2029, any attempt to cheat in 2029, some of our friends who want to cheat in 2029, the consequences will be severe, will not be understanding. The countries of democracy and the result must be upheld. The person who will win the election will be the person who will take power. No one will say you will redeem power. And I believe that the president, who is my uncle, I know he's a genuine man. I know when he lost the election, he will accept the result. But there are some elements. CDC, get ready for Joe Weah to come back. But for you to be ready, you want Joe Weah to come back? You want Joe Weah to come back? Each and every one of you got to go out in the street and start recruiting. You go in the community where you live and start recruiting. 2029 will be at the police station. Any attempt to cheat, any attempt to wreck the election, the consequences will be so severe that even those who in power will not be understanding. Any attempt to cheat in 2029, any attempt to cheat in 2029, some of our friends who want to cheat in 2029, the consequences will be severe, will not understanding. The countries of democracy and the result must be upheld. The person who will win the election, the person who will power.
Let's start with developments unfolding out of Liberia as quickly as we can. Time is of the essence. At 4 o'clock, CFR Moniba Jenica will join us for an open discussion that will be at 4 o'clock. Until then, Nigeria's Labour Congress has announced a nationwide protest on December 17, citing the country's worsening security situation. The announcement comes amid a series of mass abductions from schools across Nigeria. In a notice to all state councils, the Labour Congress said the government has failed to adequately protect schools, particularly those in remote and vulnerable areas, putting pupils, students, and teachers at risk. The Labour Union has directed its affiliates to fully mobilize for the nationwide protest, arguing that the surge in kidnappings targeting school children has reached an unacceptable level. 1 week after a Nigerian military plane landed in Burkina Faso due to what the army said was a technical fault, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Ministry said the aircraft and 11 soldiers remain in detention in Burkina Faso. The plane touched down in Bobo Dioulasso on Monday last week en route to Portugal for maintenance, but Burkina Faso and the Confederation of Sahel States accused the crew of entering their airspace without clearance, an allegation Nigeria disputed. Nigeria is reportedly engaging the relevant authorities to secure the release of the soldiers and aircraft. 3 former Malawian ministers have been formally charged, with ex-Trade Minister Vitomba Biko Mumba and former Education Minister Jesse Kapwila accused of fabricating news likely to cause public fear over an alleged election fraud. Documents circulated before results were announced in September. A third former minister Richard Chimwado Banda is a spate of attempted murder linked to an incident in 2021. A Paris court has sentenced Roger Lumbala, a former rebel leader from DR Congo, to 30 years in jail for complicity in crimes against humanity committed during the 2002 and 2003 conflict in eastern Congo. Lumbala faced charges of murder, torture, and sexual violence more than 2 decades after the atrocities. Prosecutors had sought life imprisonment and a permanent ban from France. Over 60 victims and witnesses testified during the trial. The court also ordered Lumbala to be permanently barred from French territory, closing a case that began with his arrest in Paris in 2021. And Uganda Chief of Defense Forces has urged voters to cast their ballot peacefully and leave polling stations promptly during the January 15, 2026 presidential election. Speaking ahead of the polls, Muhoozi, son of President Yoweri Museveni, stressed that vote counting will be transparent and observed by agents, the media, and election monitors. But he issued a stern warning that anyone attempting to disrupt the process will face swift legal action. His remarks come amid calls from some Ugandans for protest votes in which citizens stand near polling stations after voting to monitor the fairness of the process. Those are some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. Let's get to what we've got for today. It's just the issue. December 17th is all I here to talk about. We will look at other issues at 4 o'clock, but let me do that as quickly as can before Jenica is in. We talk other issues at 4 o'clock. But tomorrow is the 17th. It is a foregone conclusion date, sealed date. Yes, December 17th. Tomorrow. Not next week, not next week, not week after next, not next year, but tomorrow. December 17th is tomorrow. And the citizen protest tomorrow. Turn out. Don't boycott it. Don't stay away. Don't give in to any excuse or lies or persuasion from people. Nothing is going to happen. It is normal. You listen to some of the foreign news. The Congress, Labor Congress, is calling for a peaceful protest. It is constitutional. It is democratic. You have a testimony, or this government has a testimony of free, fair, nonviolent protest. This government is a witness. You've done it in the past. You can do it tomorrow. Don't get discouraged. It is your right. Come out. The law provides that you speak, you assemble. You cannot stay at your house and speak to Joseph Boakai. Neither can Joseph Boakai stay at his house and speak to you. It is based on that the law say the people should come out assemble in a peaceable manner, and then present their petition. Article 17 of the Constitution guarantees the fundamental rights to peaceful assembly and association. It allows citizens to gather, consult on common good. Common good. Common good is a reference for what is beneficial to you, what isn't beneficial, what is common to everyone. In that commonality, in that common good, you can have a disagreement. But when you have disagreement, then you have to express it. You have to instruct your representatives. You have to make them to know. And then you have to do a statement, meaning you write whatever concern that you have, whatever the disagreement you have, you write it. That writing is what is called petition. Petition is a statement. Petition is a request. Petition is a suggestion. Petition is a demand. Is simply telling, bringing from in out your position to a person or group of persons. Petition the government for grievances. That's what Article 17 is all about. Petition the government for grievances. Why also permitting the protesters to join or refuse to join. This one, it has to do with political parties, unions, and other categories or functions. Fundamentally, the Constitution is telling you it is your right. That right cannot be restricted. It cannot be curtailed. It cannot be stifled. It cannot be contained. It cannot be denied under no condition whatsoever. It instructs the government to provide the enabling environment, as they will call it, from a political perspective, meaning the government is responsible for state security. The government is responsible for state safety. The government is responsible for the protection and safety of each and every citizen. Just as the government has the fundamental right, meaning those within, to assemble, to do what they want to do, like you have seen over the time, equally, they have the right to protect the right of the people. Right to assemble. People can meet in an orderly, and that's what you've seen over the time, and you're going to see it. I'm just trying to tell you what Article 17 is all about, your protection. That Article 17 protects you. The same Article 17 and other lines of our Constitution, Unity Party in opposition was using. The right to assemble is simply people can meet in an orderly and peaceful way to discuss public matters, which you are going to do tomorrow. Don't be afraid of this. Don't allow anybody to lie to you. Don't allow anybody to intimidate you. Yesterday, they were telling the people to come out. You heard in those clips, those were foreign presenters on their respective talk shows. The lady presenting the show called The Globe. Say, we have on the line, before then she said, series of protests before she brought in Mo Ali. And as per their record, George Weah, she said, in just 2 years in office, there have been series of protests. A reference she was making to Unity Party people. They did not give George Weah a chance. The government allowed them to protest. The government did not infringe on their rights. They based their argument to protest, to assemble, to present their petition on Article 17. The right to petition simply means individuals have the right to give to their government or officials their document for solutions to the problems. Peaceful conduct simply means the right is for peaceful assembly, meaning no violence, no hooliganism, no destruction of property, nothing absolutely. Government's role, it simply means the government should protect the rights of the people, these fundamental rights. The government should protect it. Why the citizens must act lawfully. And that is exactly the atmosphere you're going to exhibit on tomorrow, the 17th of December. If ever was the time that you put on the spirit of boldness, that you raise the zeal that you have always had as demonstrated by you in the past, tomorrow is that day. It's democratic. Nobody going to harass you. Nobody going to intimidate you. Nobody going to scare you off. Nobody going to open fire on you. They will tell you that protest is not necessary. Protest has always been necessary. See protest as a necessary element of human existence. It is only when you turn it on the other side, then it becomes unnecessary. But protest is necessary. It is the normal everywhere, all over the world, in every sphere of life, individual, collective, in the home, in the office, at the business center, just everywhere you find protest. People expressing their opinion. They expressing their grievance or grievances. Why? Because they need solution. You see it in the home. You see it in relationship, be it cohabitation or legal. You see it just everywhere. And people are open to that. And nobody gets hurt from it. It doesn't degenerate into violence. In the community, people express their opinion. They state their grievances. They ask to be listened to. They ask to be heard. Simple. Tomorrow is December 17th. Come out in mass. It is the rain season. I should remind you again. In rain season, you came out in multitude. Then what about dry season? There is no better time you can state your position to this government than now.
Muhammad Ali, popularly known as Mo Ali, he is in the Liberian capital of Monrovia and now joins us via Skype. Mo Ali.
Once again, a very warm welcome to the program. This is the Morning Call. I am Nyasha K. Mutizwa. Now, we kick off the show in Liberia. In office for just 2 years, Liberians are growing increasingly impatient with President George Weah. A struggling economy, rising food prices, and corruption accusations have stirred anger and discontent against Weah, who campaigned on a promise of delivering pro-poor policies. There have been several protests against Weah's rule, and another major demonstration is planned for later today. The United Nations and ECOWAS have urged the opposition to call off this rally, Ruth. And now we have one of the organizers and an activist joining us on the line. This is Mr. Mo Ali, who comes to us from the capital, Monrovia, in Liberia. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the program. Now, why have you organized this march against President Weah?
Morning. As to your first question, we have organized the march, not particularly against President Weah, but against the style of governance. There is exclusion of people who express their feelings, people who criticize government. There is corruption all over government. It is evidenced by the mismanagement of 25 million. He has refused to prosecute those involved. There's still the issue of 16 billion lingering. There is this issue of interfering with the judiciary. There is this issue of consistent interference with the functions of the legislature. There are lots of things. We have violations of our constitutions and laws. And so we are organizing this protest to tell Mr. Weah that these things are wrong, and also to tell the country how he intends to resuscitate the economy. As to the United States calling for dialogue between the ruling party and the opposition, let me say this very clearly. The opposition and pressure groups have always been willing to dialogue. It is Mr. Weah and his government who are not interested in dialogue. We've made series of suggestions on how we can tackle the governing menace that we have, on how we can tackle corruption, on how we can resuscitate the economy. Consistently, Mr. Weah has refused to dialogue with anyone. He's just shown that again. ECOWAS had asked him to dialogue. The United Nations has asked him to dialogue. It's constant saying is that people lost election, they don't want to accept it. He has won election, he has the mandate, and so he can do everything on his own. Good, if he can do everything on his own, that's why we are asking him to get to work to do it. And if a dialogue was to take place, I would like to see us coming out of such dialogue with a very strong plan on how to fight corruption, with a very strong message that the federal government should not engage into interference with the judiciary.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Globe. Muhammad Ali, popularly known as Mo Ali, he is in the Liberian capital of Monrovia and joins us via Skype. Mo, thank you so much for joining us on the Globe.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Now, this is another round of anti-government press, and these President George Weah took over as president, the third since he's president. What are the latest with regards to the protests?
Well, it shows that continuously the economy is continuously going down the drain. The president and the executive branch of government continues to interfere with the functions of the judiciary. They continue to interfere with the functions of the legislative branch of government, and the hardship is increasing. Prices of basic commodities are skyrocketing, and Liberians cannot afford to even pay their children's school fee. So these are some of the reasons why Liberians have decided to continue to protest, so that the president can deliver on his campaign promises.
2 generations of Liberians at odds about the state of the nation ahead of another round of anti-government protests in the capital. President George Weah came to office with a lot of goodwill. 2 generations of Liberians at odds about the state of the nation, ahead of another round of anti-government protests in the capital. President George Weah came to office with a lot of goodwill, but that is diminishing and fast.
I will be in front of that protest. If I'm unable to walk, I will carry a stick. Right now, they stole my walking stick.
Others see the protests as an unnecessary distraction.
We voted lawmakers. If a person wants a change to the constitution, they should talk to their lawmaker. If someone eats your reserve money, go to your lawmaker.
Sitting just 15 meters away from this heated argument, Bolopewe is worried about her family. She left home at 5 o'clock in the morning to sell vegetables in this market.
No one is buying. There's no money. Look at my children sitting here in the sun. They're supposed to go back to school, but there's no money to pay their fees.
In Liberia's capital, Monrovia, a march to sweep corruption out of the country. Hundreds of people gathered with brooms in their hands for a small protest against a big problem. Corruption is everywhere, says Esther Thompson.
So the program, the people yesterday, they were very sustained with it. That means they did not stop. They made the people to believe that the country was bad under George Weah, that they were just 2 meters away from hell. And if they did not come out to join the protest to defeat George Weah, then their lives will have gone into hell. And so many of the people, but please get it straight, it's not to say that the Weah's government was 100% perfect. No government can be 100% perfect. But the propaganda was, let's keep this man under pressure, and no better way to do it but to get the people coming outside to protest. Now, we're not telling you to keep Bwaka under pressure. We're not telling you to be divisive as they were. We're not telling you that the protest is to unseat Joseph Yeman Boakai. They have the caption, they say enough is enough. 1, 2, lead or leave is different from saying Unity Party say step down campaign, which at that it was tantamount to treason. You can never do that in any country. Never you allow. If George Weah was not tolerant, even Boakai himself would have been in jail, charged with treason. If you came out publicly with no remorse whatsoever, no reference to the Constitution, and you say the president should step down, you are inciting an uprising, a potential overthrow, a coup. But nobody would say that today. Not that people can say. The organizers say lead because you're already there. So lead right. If you can lead right, then the people will have to come out and say, please, you have to do it. It's an obligation. It's not a choice. You sign up to do it and you must do it. They made the people everything that they complained against yesterday. Nobody can tell me that it is not happening today or they are not happening. The hardship is all over the place. You can barely have what you need as citizens. Look at the commerce of the country. The sellers are more than the buyers. On top of it, the sellers are the ones who are grieving in their hearts. They are grieving. Some of them are in serious financial problem. They have to pay debt. They took loan. Some of them have external problem. A number of things are happening. And they're hoping. Look all around you. Just get outside. Or wherever you are. You see people complaining. Nothing is happening in the economy. But the government officials, they are partying. Boakai enjoying himself with his people. They make you to believe that things are okay When they go, they launch one program, they call Bwaga to launch it. Then you say, oh, the Papa doing where? He's not doing anywhere. That will not put food on your table. No. Yesterday, when we have put a structure up, they'll say that structure will eat. So the same thing affecting you. You have to rise up. You have to come out. Don't sit. This is your last chance. Malcolm X say, if you develop a sit-down attitude, you will get a sit-down result. And that's bad in life. You will only be complaining, grumbling within yourself, wrestling within yourself, and nothing will change. Change is not on a silver platter. Change is not a walk in a park. Prosperity is not on a silver platter. Prosperity is not on. It's not something that you just grab. God never gave anybody anything free. You have to work for it. You have to move. Once you cannot move, it will never happen. Joe Bwaga and the rest of the people, they move. They organize all kinds of protests. The international community has all of those protests that they organize against George Weah. At the end of the day, what did Stanton Waterspoon say? It was planned by Unity Party with their assistance to discredit George Weah government, to give the international community the impression that Weah was killing people all over the place, that citizens were dying. He said every woman every pregnant woman who went to the hospital and something happened, say Unity Party resolved that it should put it on George Weah. So every death that was in the country, even the one who sits at LBS, Eugene Fagon, on the very Spoon Talk, what did he say? He thought that he was talking to a stupid person. He did not know that he was talking to a man who is highly educated than half of Unity Party people. John Molu. In the conversation, he told John Molu, if you went to Liberia, George Weah will cut your neck off. That's the kind of thing they were saying. And so whenever they called protests, the people will come out. Now, they made you to believe that they were coming with the solution. So you came out now, and then what happened? They are in. They turned their back on you now, telling you that you are peasants. You are downtrodden. They only saw you as surrogates. Mission accomplished, and then you people can go. So listen, come out tomorrow, December 17th. Nobody going to do anything to you. Don't be afraid. You did it before. You can do it again. It is your right. They did it. You can do it. Bwaga is not above the law. No government official is above the law. The law protects each and everyone. Just as the law protects Bwaga, the law protects you. Bwaga is not the law of this country. This is the Republic of Liberia. Don't be afraid. They can never do anything to you. They will not harass you. They will not intimidate you. The international community is watching. They are at a litmus test. They won $500 million from the United States government. The MCC scorecard, they did not pass convincingly. They have a serious governance problem. So here is another test. The international community is watching. Anything to put hand on a given person, to do anything funny, everything about their governance, hustling for money here and there will go off completely. The international community is no respecter of a president. It's no respecter of a country. The international community is the respecter and promoter of good governance, the rule of law, and on and on. Be encouraged. Step up. Develop that strong spirit. You have done it before. You can do it. That's it. Just thought to remind you that the D-Day is tomorrow. Get your sneakers, your jeans trousers, your water stuff. You know, small thing you can get water in, so you'll be zipping along the way. They say the people should not assemble at the Capitol building, between the Capitol building and the Executive Mansion. Yeah, that place that is already desecrated. The Capitol building is desecrated. The mansion is desecrated. It is not the building. No, it is not the building. You can protect a building, but you have a bad system in place. Then what the need of protecting building? That's why the previous government looked at it and said, but that's the people's place. Where the representatives are in the legislature, where Joseph Imabwaga office is, the Constitution said the executive mansion. Then say go and present. So if Bwaga wants to me, let's assume. Let's take it in the next few minutes before Jenica will bring on Jenica. Let's do it this way hypothetically. Bwaga wants to meet the protesters. Then the protesters say, come to our place. Come, Douala. We're now going to your office. When Bwaga say, yeah, go in there. Think about it. Yeah, and embarrass some presidents along the way. Not everything will work in Bwaga's favor. That's the reason leaders can look at it. They carefully study the situation from a political security, whatever perspective, and then they move in, they receive it, they go. Ellen left her executive mansion when she received. People went to Ellen at the executive mansion when she was at foreign affairs. She came outside to receive. Ellen, when she received protest statement on the other side, it didn't do nothing to Ellen. Ellen stay on as president. You should have nothing to be afraid of. You're using bulletproof, Mr. President. And you get bulletproof car, let the people pour out bulletproof. Why you afraid? Nobody get time for you in this country, Joseph Human Boyka. You and your people, nobody get time. You can walk the street here, even men, you walk all around. Everybody know that Boyka, nobody get time for you because this country here, the people like the president, the president just in the DNA of the people. Nobody get time. We get history a lot of people attacking the people. No. So, you doing all that thing that for nothing, your people tell you nothing. You riding bulletproof car, you're not enjoying it. In fact, when you're president, you're more insecure in yourself because you make yourself insecure. You just have that paranoid stuff that somebody after you, who after you can't also receive the poor petition, show the international community that you are democratic. You say that other people mess up, they know governance. So show them governance, now teach them. Thank you. That's all the time we've got for that. Time is of the essence. My boy, CFR Monimba Jenica is in. We've got a couple of issues to look at. Thank you for coming, CFR. Good to see you again. It'll be a little while.
Thank you so much, my dear brother Sam Andrew. And I want to say thanks to the management team of Kings FM and to all of the workforce, the staff here. They've been very supportive, and I want to say thank you for the rebranding. Most often we are in Cape Mount and we witness, especially via the internet, we have some of our, gadgets that normally in Kinjo we still outside and we listen to your program at times, sometimes teacher live program, and people, listen to these things to understand the current situation of the country. But again, I'm honored to be here, and I want to say thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, we've got some specifics to look at, but you in and out. How is it like from a Morovia standpoint? It's the festive season, then we get into the specifics.
The season is really kind of difficult. You can see from the faces of our people. Go to Douala, where normally I pass through to come to Monrovia, come to Central Monrovia, Waterside, go to Rowdy Town, go to Red Light. You will see on the faces of our people, there are lots of frustration, and I think the people are just too very strong to live. They just want to live, they just want to survive. But on the essence of changes in the lives of our people, that the season is going to be good, I think it's a very difficult thing right now to state.
We've just a few days to the festive season, or just say Christmas. And there's this issue with the Liberia Council of Churches and Kotubram that the government should not grant the guys any right to protest.
I think this is very undemocratic. Because yesterday, Ricotta Brown was one of those who championed protests, who asked the government to have given the people the opportunity, because it is stated in the constitution that the people have the right to assemble and they have the right to petition their government relative to their living standard. Um, to have come back today and ask government as a man of God, which I will not question his portfolio as a man of God, but I think it is very wrong. And our religious leaders must be very conscious enough to understand that before they begin, whoever they were with the masses, they were with the people. They must understand the condition. Yesterday it was right, and so today it must also be right for the people to exercise. So this statement coming from Reverend Kotubra, I think it undermined democracy, it undermined the rule of law, it actually undermined the existence of our people being the fundamental right of our people. I think it's absolutely wrong. We must condemn that in the strongest possible term.
So let's go now. Let's start with Grand Cape Mount County, where you are. Yes. How is it as the county?
Grand Cape Mount County is bleeding. It's bleeding in the sense that most often we make mistakes in electing leaders that supposed to stand up for the right reasons. That's the reason why you have 5 lawmakers, 2 from the Senate, the House of Senate, and 3 from the House of Representatives. Collaboratively, they're supposed to work in line to make sure that the right things are done. They're advocating the budget for the right thing to go to Cape Mount. That which I'm seeing, the lawmakers that are actually pushing for that is just maybe 1 or 2. And it is bad for Cape Mount, because yesterday we advocated for a lot of change, and a lot of those things were taking part. A lot of those things affected positively our people across Cape Mount County. But today you see that a lawmaker who championed protests yesterday to gain permanence, to gain access to the investment in Cape Mount County, the biggest investment, today has become so silent on the people, and that it continued to increase more burden on our county. It continued to increase more hardship. It continued to increase a loss of suffering on our people. Except that we that are there are trying to make it more convenient, are trying to speak to management, especially B Mountain, that there is a need that we cooperate with our people. Those of us that are there are the ones now that are actually talking to management, and management is actually consenting and is doing something gradually for our people as the result of our own presence there. But relative to District 2 lawmakers, because the concession is in his district as electoral districts, and since he championed protests, invested in protests, and protests took over, I think his contribution now to our county is meaningless, is not important, and it's not bringing nothing to the table. Looking at Cape Mount having the biggest tourism hub, the Lake Piso is very beautiful. It is the most beautiful lake, I think, in West Africa, particularly in Liberia. You look at the mountains. You look at a lot of other tourism area in Grand Cape Mount County, where it is specifically located in his district, and to see that the representative who championed the cause for former Speaker Kofa to have been removed heavily was unable to debate on the floor, where he could argue the fact that more money should be invested into the tourism sector, where it would have benefited his district, it would have benefited his people, but instead he was basically championing individual cause so that money can be allocated to him. But on a very serious note, relatively to the generalization of the progress made, I think the representative Modusi is just a zero, and he never advocated in the budget for anything to be directed.
Zero representative by performance.
He had not been able to have anything relative to a town hall meeting 2 years, roughly 2 years, because January 22nd will make it directly 2 years because the government was inaugurated on the 22nd, and there hasn't been any time, at no point in time, that he had called for district sitting, making a report to the district on the progress and challenges. It's just about himself. And since he found out he down here whining with the company, I think it's very frustrating for our county.
What does an additional district mean for the county? You are aware of what the House of Representatives came up with. It left with the Senate now for appraisal and concurrence. I have been running through some posts from you about District 2 and your lawmaker that you just talked about. What's going on? What's the change? What your perspective? You people are on that list, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. And so basically, when you look at Grand Cape County, the geographical landscape of Grand Cape County, you will realize that the Golakone and Pokpa shares border. They are electoral districts, but two separate administrative districts. And Golakone now will be able to stand on her own because the mineral deposit in Great Cape County is squarely half of it is in Golakone, part of it is in the Tiwa district. So I think with the separation, it would do a lot of good for us, especially we are looking at a system where we are not just going to push for a young representation, because a young representation.
So you in favor of that? You want that geographical extension?
I want the geographical extension. I want the district to be developed so that we can have adequate representation, so that we can have young people, not just a young representation, because when we say young representation in Grand Cape County, then we will be looking at there are two different young lawmakers in Grand Cape County. Relatively, you have electoral district 1 that makes up of Pokpa and Golakone electoral district. It is a young female representing the two administrative districts, and you have electoral district number 2 happens to be Gaula, that consists of Commonwealth and Gaula itself, and having portion of Golakone. Those are two districts that are being represented by young people. But when you look at their productivity in terms of what they've been able to do since elected, given because 70% of their votes came from the UFO sector. And the reason for which the young people decided on that was because they needed a young generation to change the scope. They needed young people that could think for them, that could provide an opportunity for foreign scholarships, for local scholarships, for loss of empowerment, to advocate for a lot of things to be done in the district. But when you look at the current state, the two young forces that we are seeing, that one of whom is dormant, District 2 is absolutely dormant, and we have not seen no representation. So we are looking at it when the district gets divided and that portion is created by law. We will understand now in 2029 there will be an uprising. We will push for a revolution of a young generation, not just a young generation saying, but a generation that is visionary, a generation that will be able to push for the emancipation of disadvantage, a generation that will push for adequate representation, a young generation that will be workaholic, result-oriented. These are young people that we will gather in their numbers to make sure that they represent us in 2029. So by the division of that district, you will realize that Pokpa will be bringing a young visionary, lawmaker that will represent that portion. Because if you divide it now, you have Pokpa now will be represented because of the geographical location and the separation relative to the 2022 census conducted by Legis. So for that, we will not just be looking at young people, but visionary, that are result-oriented, that sees the need to develop the county on a more mass skills, but not those young people that have already failed our generation.
You are in favor of that, but you are also skeptical. There's the cynicism that it might not, the Senate might not concur with the House of Representatives, given what the way it was put to the floor in just less than no time. They didn't go through the different characteristics of the National Elections Commission, what the censors said, the Constitution, and the legislature. So it's everything is just shrouded in confusion, and lawmakers are divided on it. One of the lawmakers in Augustine Chair said it was dead on arrival. As much as you want that, but you're also looking in that direction that it might not be. And if the House, the Senate does not concur with the House of Representatives, what will it be for you people from Grand Cape County perspective?
Though is going to be frustrating for us as a county, as young generation that want positive change, a generation that wants to see the best thing for Cape Mount. But I think it will be good enough that the process, the due process, is followed, because it just reminds me of the way former Speaker Kova was removed. Anything that is not done legally by law, it is not done at all. Though if it is not done properly, which the House of Senate might not or will not concur because of its due diligence that wasn't done under the law, but it will also be frustrating to me, but it will be good for me because now the law begins to follow, and a country that does not operate on the basis of the law, on the basis of the foundation of the law, that country will not accept investment. That country will not cry. You can cry for how long, but there are people who will not want to invest in your country because you do not follow the right procedure. And they think that if they invest into your country, lawlessness will overcome their investment and nothing will be done. So I pray that if the House of Senate did not do just by the law, by constitution, the constitutionality of the process, then I think it will be good enough that they revisit, the recall, because under the law, they have the right when bills are proffered or bills are sent to the House of Senate, when it didn't follow the right procedure. By law, the law says that they can recall such an instrument, and that instrument should now follow the right procedure. So though it will affect me when the process did not go through, or the process don't go through, it will affect me as a Cape Mountainer, as a young revolutionary. But again, I will want for the right things to be done. And if it costs the right thing to be done for us to get it, I will as well support that. If the right things are done for us to not get it, then no problem. We follow the law, because it is the law that got us to where we are as a country and as a people.
What is the current status of B Mountain since you've been there for over a year now, going to 2 years, if not? But you've been there for a considerable period. What is the situation? That was a hotspot, an epic center. You know what I'm talking about. What is it now?
B Mountain has been an epicenter of violence because it is the only concession company that we have in Grand Cape County, the biggest, if not the largest in Liberia, but one of the largest concession company that is providing for the government, and as well providing for the people of Grand Cape County and other nationals and other tribes that fall outside in Grand Cape County. And there has always been politics play with the concession areas, and that alone affected us for the 6-year period that we were in government as currently opposition party, but then we were ruling establishment, because every time the concession area was marked with violence. But then for us, we didn't see the fight that violence should continue as a patriotic Liberian. And seditions are noted. Mind you now, I am a sedition, an unrepentant sedition, undiluted, seditions. It's seditions by breath, but I'm also a professional young man, and I'm also a Liberian and also a Vagola Batra. So for the fact that B Mountain is situated in the two districts that I'm from, because geographically, I'm from electoral district number 2, Gaula, and I'm also from a part of Gola Kone called Deiri. So that makes me Vagola Batra, which I speak the both dialects. And so we thought it wise that there should be no need for a persistent violence in Great Kipa County, because if there is or there are persistent violence in Great Kipa County, it has a propensity of undermining the investment. It has the propensity to undermine the living condition of our people, because if, for example, for any reason, there is a continual violence in the concession area, the concession operates with partners, there's shareholders that invest into the company. And if they see that continuously there are continual protests and violence, it could also undermine the investment and scaling down or winding down from that area. And if the company winds down, what become of our people of Grand Cape County? What become of the country? So as a citizen, as a Cape Townian, as a patriotic Liberian, as a professional Liberian, we instituted a mechanism with the current town leadership. And the current town chief is one Musa Masale, a very young guy. And we instituted a system where, because the current representative was one of the masterminder, he was one of the architects, he was one of the sponsor of the February 2024 protest in Great Cape County. And we saw that when he advocated, you saw him on all of the media platform. He said he want to change, and that the change must come, and that the change must affect with the lives of our people. But where is he today? The lawmaker cannot speak to issues affecting the people. So we as Liberians, as a professional, as a citizen, as a Cape Townian, what we thought to have done was we instituted a mechanism to work with management to always resort to dialogue rather than protestation, which is their right, rather than civil unrest, rather than disruption of the operations. Because we think when the investment operations is disrupted, or the operations are disrupted, it also suffers. The residents in Kinjoy also suffer Cape Townian. It also suffers the economy, also suffers our people. And so we thought it wise to institute that mechanism where there will be no protest. There will be, not that there can be no protest, but there will be no violence. There will be no altercation. There will be no disruption of the civil liberty. There will be no obstruction of the operations. So we as local officials, we as non-governmental officials, we have been the one keeping the peace. The lawmaker has continuously invested into violence, and we have said no. A general cannot be here. And
the lawmaker invested into violence?
He has been investing heavily.
What do you mean by that?
Look at the February 14 incident that took 3 lives in Cape Town, which we condemn, right? And
you mean the shootout?
Yes. The lawmaker supported that process. You saw him. He talked to the radio station. He talked to Facebook. He talked to the social media, advocating that it was right for the people to have gone the way they went, instead of coming to condemn the loss of lives. He supported that, and I know I was part of the protest. I was part of the negotiation process.
Is that, Jenica, is that 2023 shootout in B Mountain an issue for you people still, or it is under the carpet? You guys are done with it.
This is where we say, because when the representative supported the process and he supported to have gained popularity, he gained the popularity at the gullibility and using a system of oppression, using a system of violence to infiltrate and have a dialogue with management, which he's now in bed. So when he's there right now, you will not hear anything from him relative to the 3 individuals who lost their life. You will not find him talking about the 38 counts that were proposed to the company. You will not hear him talking about the changes that are supposed to.
But he isn't above. He isn't above the people. He cannot be the God of the people. If the people themselves are concerned about what unfolded within the district and the lives that were taken by those people, they can speak out. They can raise the issue, no matter how long it is.
We have been raising the issue, but when you look at the governance structure of our country, when you look at the proceeding of the justice system in our country, then you will begin to understand what is unfolding into our country. And we have said time with our numbers that since this is the issues, we will not allow, because mind you now, Sam, every time when there are protests in Kinjal, who takes the credit, right? Who carry home the fabulous money, who carry home something for themselves and their family, are the very lawmakers, are the very government officials. So we have said time with our number. It is prudent for us to always dialogue with management so that it cannot resort to violence where there will be loss of property, destruction of properties, and loss of life. So we instituted that mechanism that there must always and continues to be a dialogue. Even if we are hurt, there must always be a channel that we can process our anger. There should be a channel that we can process whatever concerns that we have. So we are more concerned about dialogue. We are more concerned about writing management when there are issues confronting us, and we sit on the table to do a give and take where we disagree to agree to disagree, but at the final analysis there must be something we take home. And management has been working on that, and there has been a very smooth process.
They've been working on looking at the dead families, what needs to be given to them. They've been concerned about that.
Oh yes, we sat with management, we talked to management, the town chief, we were part of that, along with other stakeholders. We engaged management, and today families of those individuals have been employed. Families of those individuals have now been given something to sustain. For example, there's a guy there who
all of them have been employed, or some.
All of the three families, right? There are representation. We sat with them, we discussed, there were representation for those families, those that they believe in, those that they think that when they work, they will now begin to support the deceased family.
Who made that proposal or gave that suggestion for employment?
We did that as citizens, we did that as a community, because we thought that those families that lost their life, they can it cannot be repaid, they cannot come back. So there is a need that there are some benefits that the family get. And when we sat with management saw the need. They said, look, I think there is a need that those proposals being made is very important. And today, the three families are represented by individuals from those families, and they are working now.
How many?
They are each of the family are represented by an individual, and that individual have a job. And that job is they've been paid every month. And so there was also a benefit package from management that was directed to those families for funeral rituals, some of whom were Muslims. We were able to talk to management, and there was some, representation that the management made to those individuals. From there, we pushed for employment, and today they are. And it was not done at the result of the representative. It wasn't done at the result of a government intervention. It was done because we as communities saw the need that we must now begin to engage management on the round table where we disagree to agree to disagree. But at the final analysis, the both parties, there must be a win-win situation where we both the both parties can be able to benefit. So, and through those arrangements, we also have
so that brought the closure of the shootout.
Yes. So currently we are in touch with management to see, because we have engaged government to see relative to the rehabilitation of the police station that got on fire during the protest. But currently we are having talk with management to be able to rehabilitate that process, because Kinjal, you won't believe it, for over 1 year, 3 months or 4 months, there haven't been any police station in Kinjo. It will interest you to note. No police station, a community that hosts over 20,000 inhabitants. There hasn't been any police station.
So it means the security situation is a die one.
It's a die one, and because of
20,000 and no
over 20,000
over 20,000.
There is no police station. The police station got out on fire. It was destroyed during the protest, and currently
and the police officers that were there before it got burned withdrawn.
Well, some are living in the community, but with our representation, with our collaboration with Senator Taylor and other officials, we have had conversation, and the people are resolved because of the way we approach the issue now, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we engage management outside of violence. They themselves, so King John is running not on a time bomb, but at the consensus of the people, where we say today, moving forward, there should be, though the lawmaker continue to invest into a system of division, continue to invest in violence, but King John is resolved because we continue to talk to our people, and management is listening to us. For the first time, it was interesting to know, Sam, that through our partnership with management, we have had a lifetime, restoration project called the King George Sanitation Management Project. And for the first time, that project was won. It is a consistent project where management now started with 10 individuals, paying them per month. That is consistently until the mine can close. They're doing that. And we talked to them for addition. They have agreed with us, but they told us that as much as the sanitation kicks up and there are progress made, because we have invested more into sanitation here, because we said to them, and with the sanitation project, if the community is not clean, if there is no hygiene, proper hygiene system, the same workers that you have in the fence live in the community, they reside here, they goes to work. I think if there is an outbreak of cholera or diarrhea, it will also affect the operations of the mine. And so we have been doing that in the absence of District 2 representative. We've been doing that collaboratively. We've been talking to Senator Taylor, and we've been talking to Senator Daba Vapla. We've been we cut across political line. We don't see politics. We see the benefits of the people, and inconsistent with the living condition of our people. So there are other benefits that is gradually coming to the community. Talk about the employment status. Yes, there is a policy between management and the community, the affected communities, to provide job opportunities for those individuals, and these things are happening on our watch. There hasn't been any chaos, there hasn't been any disruption of peace and the operations. So we are doing those things in conformity with the law, in conformity with our people. Agree that there should be no violence and there should be no civil unrest now in Kinjo. So gradually, the only thing we've been talking to management, and they are in conversation with us, and they are giving us green light. We have said to them, as much as the mine is a mine related issues, there must be a training center or setup where you can train people with mine related courses, so that when those jobs come up, those vacancies that you can give to the community, our Liberian people must be able to occupy them, even with or without B Mountain. They can now go to Burkina Faso, they can go to South Africa, they can go to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and other mining countries as well to mine. And so they will not only be restricted to Liberia. Some can go to Yekepa, some can go to other mining areas across the world to be able to exercise what they have learned. And management is in conversation with us. They are giving a green light every day that when these things kicks up, we'll let you guys know. So there are lots of progress we have made as a community in consultation with Senator Taylor, and we sometimes get in touch with Senator Daba Mabane Vapla. Though there are lots of political interplay, the representative feel like He's a unity partisan and he must get all of the credit. But today's date, as we speak, the representative do not have the face again in Kinjo like he used to have while using some financial means to gain his popularity at the expense of the violence and protests carried out in Kinjo.
Was the mechanism in place or solution for the future that you will not have a recurrence of what happened?
So what we have put into place, Sam, is that those mechanisms is that we must continue to dialogue on the table. We must continue to engage management constructively. We must not resort into another violence, because what happens is that it diminishes the sales of whatever natural resources taken out of Cape Town. What it does is that when the company scales down, it affects the employment and the living condition of our people. It will affect the economic stability, of our already struggling, county and community. So dialogue has been and will be the only solution that we have proffered to our people. Let us continue to engage constructively. Let us continue to dialogue. Let us continue to write communications upon communications. Let's sit on a table where the company will say, we don't agree with this, and we ourselves will say, we don't agree with this, but at the final analysis, there is a path that we will converge on that, and that path should be a win-win situation for the both parties. So these are mechanisms that we are putting into place, that there will be no other violence. We will not get involved into violence. We unite ourselves for the common good of the investment, the common good of the living condition of our people, to improve the lives of our people, so that monoplus politics, the people can begin to grow. When the people happy, they will understand that who are those individuals who help them be to be where they are.
All right. So that will be doing it for the situation in Grand Kidman County. Good perspective provided us. It's good that you gave us that insight. Let's get to some of the issues unfolding here. I want you to listen to this. The protest is set for tomorrow. We are told that the authorities of the Liberia National Police have been trying the best they can, 24 hours around the clock, to have the protest deferred, meaning sent to another date, but the organizers are saying they will not. So the authorities was left with no option. They have just sent a statement. Please, let's serve the public. Then Janaka, you can have your say on this, and then we'll go to other issues. Yeah, what it said: the Liberia National Police, LNP, has taken note of the public announcements regarding a planned protest by the group's 10th schedule for December 17. In keeping with its constitutional mandate to protect life and property, the LNP wishes to inform the public that it formally engaged the leadership of STEN ahead of the proposed activity. This engagement forms part of the police standard preventive and dialogue-based approach to public order management. During the meeting, the LNP highlighted key public safety, mobility, and crowd management considerations associated with the Christmas festive season, a period marked by increased commercial activity, higher population management, family travel, and expanded national security responsibilities. The police emphasized that large public gatherings during this period pose heightened risks to public safety and the free movement of citizens. In that context, STEN was advised in good faith to consider deferring the protest to a more appropriate date after the holidays. Despite this engagement, the LNP has seen public communications indicating an intention to go ahead with the protest as planned. The police therefore reiterates that that constitutional right to protest, right to peaceful assembly is fully protected. Such rights must be exercised lawfully and responsibly in a manner that does not endanger public safety or disrupt the rights of others. The public is reminded that the grounds of the executive mansion are not designated for protests or demonstrations, and all existing restrictions on motorcycles and tricycles remain fully in force. Any violations of the law will be addressed promptly and professionally under the laws of the Republic of Liberia. The Liberia National Police remain committed to dialogue, restraint, and professionalism, and values continued collaboration with all civic actors. This approach reflects LNP resolve to balance constitutional freedom with its responsibility to safeguard national peace and public order. It concludes, citizens, residents, and visitors are reassured that they may continue their normal activities without fear. The LNP remains fully deployed and dedicated to maintaining calm, facilitating free movement, and ensuring a safety and peaceful festive season for all. So this is the LNP statement. You can have your say on it, as well as I thought to share it with the public. They just released it. So simply put, they were persuading them to put a stop to it, push it after the season. But they guys said no.
This is one of the comical releases that I have seen from this government. But nevertheless, it is not strange to some of us, because when has protest become binding? When has protest become a problem? When has it become a system or situation where the country gets stagnated? When has protest become a situation where government will not function? Where has it become? When? I'm still struggling to understand that protest has now become a tool where when the people decides to protest, then that the government will not function. When protest has become a tool that when the people decide to gather under the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, guarantee on our judiciary system, on our law, that a freedom of movement, a freedom to assemble, a freedom to petition their government has become a crime. I think the government has to be more responsible. The government has to be more prompt. The government has to be more considerate, considering the current state of affairs, looking at what the country itself has been confronted with, hardship, unemployment, and not providing adequate job opportunities for Liberians. And so the government needs to understand that there are issues that the country is faced with. There are issues that Liberians are faced with. So it is the democratic right. It is the democratic right to assemble, to express these concerns. And looking at June 7, when has the marshal become a no-go zone? And this is where deception comes in. This is where I feel more frustrated. This is where I feel more like Liberia is being run by an autopilot. Liberia has been run by a president that is authoritative. Now I begin to understand that Liberia is gravitating to a country that could see now in a long, too distant future that could undermine the peace and stability of this country. When has the marshal become a no-go zone? June 7, when Liberians gather in their numbers, and where were this president, this government, these officials, when they bring back our money protest, the 16 billions, and
but they say you allow it. George Weah was the president and he allowed it. They are in now, so they're not allowing that.
We allow it because we were following the rule of law. The law says the people are guaranteed under the Constitution of the Republic to freely assemble, to petition their government. There is no law that deprives them of that opportunity. So by doing this, meaning the president must rethink, the justice minister must rethink, the information minister must rethink, and this government official will rethink that Liberia will no longer and forever be in the hands of the Unity Party. There are revolutions that will be launched, and when that revolution is launched, comrade, you will understand that Liberia itself, there will be no army, there will be no police force that can withhold the tension of the people. So when the people begin to come in their smaller numbers, give them the opportunity.
So they are simply
don't do that.
They are simply saying, Janakai, it's going to be the same as July 17, you will get out. Since you want to protest, we don't need protests in Unity Party government. So since you want protests, if the Constitution says that, okay, you will get out, and then nobody will go to receive your petition. That's what they are portraying.
Now, if they are portraying that particular sense,
a replica of July 17.
So if they are saying, then let the people remain there. If the people just throw their petition on the road, let them, but give them the constitutional right. Because you see, Sam, the mistake the Union Party government is making. Now, let me tell you something. 1989. Now, Liberians, especially the government, has forgotten the Rest Riot 1979. They have forgotten 1989. They also forget 2003, 1997. They have forgotten because there were government before them. And those government before them denied the people of the constitutional right. And the matter of fact, you will deny a certain group of people today. But when the time arises, when the time is closed, when the people in the sub-political division, the 15th sub-political division of our country, when they are resolved concomitantly, when they are resolved to a nationwide protest, the government will shut down because the people will move in. And at that point, there will be no officials. At that point, they will use their official passport to travel, because when the people are fed up, this is what happened. And we do not want Liberia to go to that path. We do not want the country to turn into that path, because we have witnessed, some of us are victims of the civil war. We saw the atrocities committed. We saw over 500,000 of Liberians die in this country because the people were disenchanted. And this is why you want to learn our country to a police that does not even have the total manpower of 2,000. I challenge that. I'm not seeing a country where our police is over 2,000. If you just look at Clarendon, just wake up, Clarendon, Gibraltar, West Point, all of our people just assemble. Do you have a police officer? Do you have a police force here? Do you have an army that can withstand, that can repel the people? You can. And that's why, George, we are saw. And we will come to that to discuss in 3 years' time. This government, our government was stagnated. We were held at a standstill by Corona. That's what happened to us. 3 years, the government could not function, but we were paid.
And sea of protests.
We saw unseen protests. Because when was the last time that natural death became ritualistic, carried out by operatives of government, as it was being proclaimed at that time? Protests of 3 missing boys, and under this government, the same people that protest, and you see the propaganda of yesterday was the one that removed. We were not removed by the 70 or 80,000 because they were disenchanted. No, not because they did not feel the developmental agenda or the developments of President Joshua across the 15th sub-political division. Every area in Liberia were touched by the development. The southeast were touched, central were touched, north were touched, the western Liberia, every sector of our country were touched. But propaganda played a major role, and that propaganda led us to where we are today. 17 to 20,000 of our people were carried away by propaganda, and they said the propaganda that was perpetuated during our remaining 3 years' time was something that they could hold onto. But today they are regretting. So I am saying to the police that they should be mindful that there will come a time that they will answer to the question. That there will come a time that the people, the law will hold them. And they must not forget that we can ask America tomorrow to deport them when we need them. Because of the bilateral relationship we got with America, those people will be answered to return back home.
Does it make any governance sense, Jenica, if your colleague didn't receive a petition yesterday, you must do it today? When you condemn it yesterday, July 17, they told Bouakar not to receive. The statement from the police means that Bouakar and his officials would not. It doesn't make any governance sense that you just, okay, you get it outside and president isn't going to receive. nobody from the legislature, nobody from the judicial will receive it. Since you want to come as your come as does it make, is it a governance sense? Does it portray the government as being responsible?
You just brought me to the conclusion of the famous June 7. Now, government received petition in two forms. They either receive it directly from say protester, or they receive it indirectly. June 7, we received the petition from them. We received it in good faith because the petition were read, and there were social media platform that capture it. Though during that day, the government receive it indirectly. What happens?
But the petition ought to be received directly and not indirectly. Indirectly means it wasn't presented formally.
No, though it wasn't presented formally.
So the government, that's why STAN reiterated their position for another protest or extension, because tomorrow is an extension of July 17th. The organizer said that until Boaka can receive their petition, they will continue. So there was a space in between July 17th and December 17th. So December 17th is just a continuation because Boaka did not receive, none of his officials did he send to receive. And it means you ought to receive it formally. That's what the Constitution says.
So then I come to the point where I will now speak to the government that there is a need. Let's assume that probably because of the health condition of the president, he cannot move, he cannot work faster, probably. But I think there is, we got an assistant minister, we got the minister of state for presidential affairs. He is the chief officer to the president. He could receive it. The minister of justice could receive it. Since in fact their argument could be maybe because of the health condition of the president, which I agree to. Because of his health complication, they could say, okay, the minister of information could receive it. The minister of justice can receive it. The minister of defense can receive it. Any other official of government can receive it.
Higher official
of government can receive it on behalf of the president of the Republic of Liberia to be presented. But to deny the people of gathering one and to deny them of not receiving, I think is unfair and is a very wrong calculation.
Undemocratic,
unpatriotic. I think it's uncivilized. It was not the reason
because the Constitution provides for that.
The Constitution is clear.
And that's what they used yesterday.
That's what they used yesterday. And those positions that they came with yesterday, we received their platform yesterday. We received their complaints yesterday. We received their protest message yesterday. And we acted upon those things. When they said they bring back my money, President Weah immediately set up a committee. And that committee poked into the investigation. And it was clear with the help of our American partners, they said there was no $16 billion ever that walk away from this country or walking continue or somebody took it from continuing to go. And that is how that is how a government that understands the law can operate. So we operated within the confines of the law. We set up a committee to investigate those concerns that they brought to us. And when we investigated that, it proved, like the missing boys, the protester here for the 3 missing boys. And it was established by us that there was no foul play. And in their government, it was also established that there was no foul play. So they agreed to all of those things that they argued about yesterday, that they proffered to us as a government. We handle them responsibly. That's what a democratic government can do. That's what a responsible government of the people, by the people, can do. And that's what we did yesterday. But how has it become a crime now that you cannot receive a petition of the people to say, look, you either leave or you leave? They think it's 2 options. You want to continue to be president. Why not do the right thing? Right? So that is the pride of staying. And we stay with them because it is a democratic right. It is not a privilege that you can take from them. A right is something that one is born with and will die with. But a privilege is something where you can take from me. Don't pass it as a privilege. But you can't tell me that my right that I was born with as a citizen under the Constitution, you deprive me of that opportunity. Sam, I think it's wrong, and the government calculation is wrong, and it might haunt them in the future.
The government not moving out to receive the protest does it show that the situation is good? Does it change anything? Does it give the people the understanding that everything is okay? The country is on track. There isn't any suffering. There's nothing bad going on. Does it give the people the impression that things are okay and what the protesters are protesting against does not exist by the president or any higher government official not receiving the petition? Does it say everything is okay, or it only shows that the conditions are real and clear?
They have agreed in principle that whatever complaint from Stan is the reality that they have faced and are facing currently. The complaint from Stan is that, for example, yesterday you criticized the health sector. You said the 3 region, that means the 4 region, the Southeast benefited from a modern health facility, referral hospital, Riverside, Grand Jida. You come back in Bapolu, there was a massive multi-million dollar health center. A referral hospital for Bomi Kipang Bapolu was there. It was constructed. Yesterday, you said no. Has there been any additional health center that has been built under this government? I said no. What was the protest? Have there been any additional monies added onto the 2000 or 2005 US dollar that we took the doctors from 700 to 2000, 2005? Has there been any money added to that? No. Has there been any additional money added to those quote-unquote nurses that said yesterday, you harmonize our salary, we harmonize your vote? Has there been any addition in the health sector added onto their salaries? No. Has there been any addition of those volunteer health workers that not the one that we put on payroll, but the one that were on standby after the election to have added onto the payroll? Has there been any additional of those volunteer health workers added onto the payroll? We are yet to see that. Has there been anything? Now, what you see and Stan is talking about, and Liberians themselves understand, is the commercialization of the health sector. Today, for the first time, that medicine are being purchased, bought in public health facilities. Is that something that we should embrace in the country? No. How can Majaba in Great Kipan, how can Mafatu in Pokpa, how can Masiata in Tala, how can another one from Deiri, from Gola Kone, from Gaula go to hospital when he or she, when she is not even working, when he's not working? How do they spend even buy medicine? Have they thought about that?
No increment for Civil 7.
There has been no increment.
The 1.2 billion budget.
And so we have not seen additional public school being built, because there were additional public school built. They just some point in time when Nimba Bon County, and they dedicated one of those public schools that were constructed by the government.
Nothing significant has happened except for being rhetorical, going from place to place, having meetings and calling Buakai to dedicate, making an announcement that the president will be dedicating this, the president will be opening this, but nothing significant in terms of the well-being, the basic essential of the people existing have not been met. And so there is every genuine reason for the protest on tomorrow.
There hasn't been any additional public schools constructed by this government across Liberia. There hasn't been lower of taxes at the gateway to our economy, the free port of Liberia. They have not reduced taxes where you will see an inflow of commodities coming from outside that will boost our economy. No, there hasn't been. Government has not embarked on the construction of new roads and bridges across Liberia. There hasn't been, at no point in time. The UP government hasn't undone the most talk about harmonization. No, they have not undone that. They haven't done anything like that. They have not also undone the digitization of the University of Liberia. No, all they have done was to do an addition of adding additional money.
So what can you say, Jenica? What can you say to the protesters with just a couple of hours for that?
What I can say to our people is that the government must be able to solve the bread and butter issues. Our people need to come out. They need to stand up for what is right, and because our families right now are going through a lot of constraint, a lot of hardship. The economy is currently stagnated. There hasn't been any new project. There hasn't been any new investment opportunities in our country that will provide job opportunity for the people. The UP have not addressed the issue of denying President Barker of traveling with private jet. No, we have not had additional technical and vocational training centers across. So the government has not invested in the construction and rehabilitation of rehabilitation centers for disadvantage. So there are lots of things that today government has not been able to address. The deaths, the ritualistic killing, of Liberians. So there are things that Liberians want to come up with. There are real reason why the people want to come up. Because yesterday you said to us that the issue of natural death was ritualistic, being done by operators of the government. Today there are more deaths than even in our government. Yesterday, in 3 years' time, President George Weah government was stagnated by COVID, holding us 3 consecutive years of not receiving any funding from donors because even the world was on its knees trying to solve her own problem. With that being said, there hasn't been anything new. President Weah only took 3 years of governance to turn this country into what it is today, and they are not doing anything new. No new roads, no new bridges. Everything done today is just the same thing.
So briefly, Bucky Raw, you've been following that development. He's currently in jail, Monrovia Central Prison.
I think the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency has not been genuine in its fights against illicit drugs or narcotic drugs. We all support the sincere fight against drugs. We all support that. But to have gone yesterday to Center Street, where you are begging people, where you found drugs with them, narcotic substances with them, then you begging them to walk away without arresting them. The dealers were there yesterday. The consumers were there yesterday. Did you see any arrest? So I think their fight against drugs has been or is selective, and we think government need to rethink. The LDA need to rethink on how she addressed the issue of fighting drugs in this country. Every one of us, including the opposition, including the opposition political parties, that inclusive of the CDC, the Congress for Democratic Change, we are in support of a genuine fight against drugs in this country because it is affecting, it is crippling a whole generation that could be the future leaders tomorrow. So we are against that, and we stand with the fight against drugs. But it must not be selective. It must be genuine, where all parties involved, whether opposition, whether ruling establishment, we all must get involved to make sure that we support the issue of the fight against drugs. But to be selective, like it has been done by the LDA, I think it's wrong. Yesterday, you have government officials bringing in drugs. You have one of the deputy for operations, as I've been told, that he's one of those facilitating the sales and the purchasing because he's getting additional monies from Hubi dealers. Those are individuals that the government should be fighting, and people that are marketing these things are people that government must fight. But yesterday, it surprised me to see the LDA live on its camera, on its page, of telling the people, these are drugs down there, move on there, go so. When you see the man with a whole package of that drugs, same yesterday, it worries me, and I just think that Liberia is turning into a different country.
You're watching and listening to Real Talk Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews. My guests on this the 16th day of December, the eve of December 17th protest tomorrow. CFA Monimba Jenica, we can turn to you now to have your say. Whatever question you got for Jenica, 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Hello.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Your name, where you call from?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm calling for today's junction.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, we are praying to God that God is joining the person. Well, my concern is that if government is saying that we go back to this, why are we falling? The government will go back to it. We know our money at home. We go with the demonstration. We'll do it. The government stopping us. It's one thing. It's not able to defend us. They're able to guide us. How are we going to do this demonstration? This petition. So it's better for us to take our own time to do it. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
How are
where
you?
you call from?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. We are going to it. We have been praying and no one can stop us. The white have us in the man and the fools fool the fool. No one will fool us. We'll fool for our fire. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling too. Have a nice day. Yeah, it is tomorrow. The protest is scheduled for tomorrow. The police said they tried persuading the organizers to call it off, to push it beyond the Christmas, but they said no. Hello.
Yes, Sandro.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
Fine, Chief.
Thank you to the brother in studio, and thank you for you that keeping all on the alert. I want to thank Jenica for his, a good and better explanation to explain well to the Liberian people concerning this government. Tomorrow we make sure that we come out. Nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop our coming out tomorrow, because Article 17 belongs to every Liberian, not to Unity Party alone. Article 17 and Article 1 give all the constitutional rights. As a law, it is also going to be for us. So let them be aware. There is no excuse. There will be nothing that will convince the people from their coming out. Will be coming out tomorrow. Thank you for affording me the time.
All right, thank you. So let's go out of Liberia. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. This is Emmanuel Nimne, and I call from Minnesota, the USA. Okay. I call my reason of calling. I call to encourage all Liberians tomorrow. Come out and go express your right. That is your right. We are observing, even though we in these things, we are observing. No one going to infringe on your right. And that country is not for Joseph Boaga, and it's not for Gregory Como, neither the police people. It is very painful to see a president that the Liberian people joyfully elected to be treating the Liberian people in that manner. And one last thing I have to say is the Bogera issue. You see, Joseph Boaga is protecting the Lothian and his Sierra Leonean people who are involved into the drugs business. But one thing I realized is that Jeremiah Kuhn, saying he took over as vice president, he affected the Nimadian too much. Even though I'm now a Nimadian, but I am an in-law to the Nimadian. My wife is a Nimadian. You getting me? So what he's doing to the Nimadian is wrong. Learn to protect your own people. You will not be the one to be up front, to be causing harm for the people. It is not what the people elected you for. Thank you, and thank you for the Liberian people.
Let's get to the women's line. Then we get back to the men. Let's go to the women's line. If not, then we go to the men. Let's go. Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Sam Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Let me say hi to your studio guest and for his really excellent articulation. I'm Peter David Castle. I call from under the street light in Lower Johnsonville. And the protest tomorrow is a complete done deal. So no amount of scare tactics that will be deployed by the Liberian National Police that will stop that particular protest. And the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia is clear, Article 17, and that of Article 1.
Will you be there? Will you be there? The Constitution is clear. We quoted it. Everybody quoting it. Availability is what we're talking about.
We are going directly to the executive mansion, so nothing is going to stop that. So we are fully prepared for tomorrow's protest. In fact, I have posted my dress codes on my Facebook page. So those are in the social media, those are on social media, they already know. So Governor Kuma, your priority, keep it for you and your and the Liberian National Police. Now for us here, you have a government that is using state resources for public gain. When the Liberian people decide to come out and then ask the government to work in the rightful direction for the Liberian people, you are going to intimidate. Send this government to power.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Every sector of the Liberian society has to.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, my brother. My brother is here. Thank you very much. My brother, nothing can stop us. I will never wait for day to break. And I feel for my shoe, my everything. I said my jeans, I said everything in my wet t-shirt.
My shoe. Dana program going to. I said shoe.
I said my wet and cynical. My cynical, my wet shirt, my jeans trousers. I finished setting it. Tomorrow, nothing can stop. Nothing can be a friend. Whether they bring police to God or they bring police to God, that work and God people that go with depend on. And we're not going to call trouble. We're going to protest peacefully and give our petition to the president to listen to us because we elected to go in the country. Now, only one set of group will go in the country here to protect everybody. Whether we vote for you, we vote for you. So we'll be there tomorrow. Nothing can stop us. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Good afternoon. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Myself, thank you. The protest. We're not here. We want now we won't go sleep there.
No, just wait for tomorrow. Wait for tomorrow. Don't go there tonight. Wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, I wait for it tomorrow.
All right.
Me, I have to go sleep there. When I ask them, the time they get that mansion. They say you tell that people with me there. They say that mansion. They say about to be 1 week. They say 2 years. They don't want to do it. That woman said today. That said the child said today. That master is telling us what we there. They not ready. They must do no. Wow. And for that tomorrow. We come in there. Thank you, sir. Talking.
Hello.
Sir,
yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is William Sabato calling from Jakarta, Ria. Sir, Andrew, the words of man making his man. Those people that they say they talk about bread and butter today will not see anything. You just suffer on Joseph Butter. What it costs. So the president is not something to say. The Mokanso, hey, we're not going to somebody else to say you will not see Christmas. Christmas not even a part of the protest. So we asking God for tomorrow, just let day break for tomorrow. Nobody will not go through there. You go through there, you go for in trouble. But from 6 to 7, 8, the place will be qualified. Thank you for the ancestor, my daughter, who always love me in the world. I tell you, thank you so much, you that placing me to fight the battle on me. We tell you, thank you, and God bless you in Jesus' mighty name.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sir Andrew.
Yes.
This is A.B. Kale. I'm calling you for call New Georgia.
Let's hear you, A.B.
Sir Andrew, nothing can stop the protest. Sir Andrew, I want to tell you, Gregor Como, tomorrow is you can't guide us. Sir Andrew, because 17 get that right. Who is Gregor Como to tell us the protest is that family? Who is Gregor Como? The first person that is a protest in the Republic of Liberia. You cannot determine that. Gregor Como You cannot determine that. Article 17 already give us the right. We have the right to assemble peacefully. Hey, Andrew, without going to court official, without going for war, we are going peacefully to assemble before the executive marshal.
All right.
Gregor come on do the right thing to provide our security.
Thank you. So just so you know that Boke Raw has been released from jail. He's out of the Monrovia Central Prison where Unity Party took him. And he will be reporting, according to the information coming in, he will be reporting to the court when needed. Meaning when the court needs him, he will go there. Let's go. That's the end of it. Don't mind them. They just wanted to disgrace him. Somebody said he was asked to perform at Unity Party fundraiser and he refused. Hello? Hello? Yeah, let's hear you. You are on the air. Check your move from where you are. Your line is cracking. Your line is cracking. Your term, let's attempt at least 1 or 2. Then Jenica can respond. 5:30, we out. If not, then. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nothing. When go again, stop it tomorrow. Say, I finish press my call. Tomorrow we'll moving behind the mansion, before the mansion. Capture building our placard. Tomorrow we'll do the right. We let the poor man do for the man for water. We don't want to eat a food. Only water. Rain, sunshine. We'll be there tomorrow night. We'll be there at 8 o'clock the next day. We'll be there tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you all for spicing it up. I appreciate it. Jenica?
Yeah. The response from the people said it all. You know, when the people are gravitating from an oppressed regime to become more of themselves, it makes a lot of sense. And in the voices of the people, you can see the frustration. In the voices of our people, you can understand that the government used its propaganda machinery to come to power. In the voices of the people, government is yet to bring in investment to provide more jobs for the people. In the voices of the people are saying, you said the harmonization was wrong. Redo the harmonization, undo it, pay our people. In the voices of our people, you understand that the health care, where the people said that we were marginalizing the people, where the people said that the money we gave to doctors from 700 to 2005 was insufficient. Now, families of those doctors, as we speak, they have not even paid for the season. The people are frustrated because the taxes on goods and services are yet to come down. The people voices are telling us that there are equipment across the world. There are goods across the world that's supposed to be imported into Liberia, but the tariff here is very high. And so Liberians cannot import in this country because of the high tariff. And government is yet to reduce it. In the voices of the people, you understand that there have been no additional road. Every road that they are doing were all roads that George we are there in 3 years now. The people are angry because you lied to them that you could have invested more into the health sector. Today, there hasn't been any new hospital. All of the referral hospitals you see across the country were all built by George Weah. The people are angry because when you go in the market right now, you cannot even find people buying. The people are angry because the sellers are more than the buyers. The people are angry because the goods are coming from China, cannot even be bought into Liberian shopping stores. The people are angry because according to you, you said the price of rice is down. But where are the monies to buy the rice? The people are angry because there is no new job opportunity. The people are angry because you said over 500 of family heads from the EPS. The people are angry because You illegally dismiss people. The people are angry because you arbitrarily butcher the law. The voices of the people, they are telling us, saying that what you did to the Constitution, to have illegally removed this man, to have fought and butchered the Constitution, to abuse the Constitution, that the law is telling us to come up. The people are saying to us, yesterday, you said every death in this country were death that CDC committed. But today, there have been increment 3-4 times than the dead our EC. What is happening to our people? Everywhere are dead bodies. People wake up today, they die. The fire incidences take over the entire country. The people are angry, Sam. They are angry because they are seeing a dictator. They are angry because government officials are pocketing money for themselves. The people are angry, St. Andrew. Why? Because there are people that government quote unquote say we suspended for corruption, but have they been prosecuted? No. What has been the change that we talk about? What has been the change that you preached yesterday that you were bringing to us? What are the change? Is the change now? But what are the change? Government is, Joe Parker is still riding, the president is still riding private jet. What are the change yesterday that you said that the president was traveling and bringing small money? When you travel, you won't bring money. The people are angry, and there are a lot of things the people are angry for. Since George Weah gave free wax fee to public institutions across this country, what has happened? They have had additional $60 that the people must pay when George Weah was doing it free. The people are angry because they cannot afford the monies to pay. Sam Andrew, the country itself is angry. You wake up to the news every day that the people are angry. People are dying of starvation and hunger. The only thing that remains here is for malnourished to start taking over. It's for cholera and other diseases, which we don't pray for to be taking over our country. The economy is stagnated. We have a 1.2 billion budget. But what are the implementation? Where would that budget be able to effectuate the lives of the ordinary people? Who there is set to pocket them, is to bring in more consultants into their very ministry, because that is how they are removing the money right now. Same, because CDC reduced that to the lowest, but checking the ministry, there has been additional consultants on the payrolls, and those people are taking away hundreds and thousands of our monies. The people are not benefiting anything. The country is stagnated. We are here. The economy is not growing. What are the investments? The investments that are here are only managing the people that are here, and they are the same people carrying their people to those investment areas. The people are crying, and the reason why the people are going to come up, and they must be very careful that it might end up extending to days, because if the people get here tomorrow, additional will add tomorrow, additional will add tomorrow, and the issues might come. Look at Kenya. When the people are oppressed, when the guest are saying, you understand that the government itself will feed the language of the people, and there will only be one language spoken, and that will be uprising. And this is why we don't want. We keep telling the government, give the people the opportunity like we did. CDC is the only government that you saw a barrage of young people from the slums. And Unity Party is a segregative institution. The people are so self-centered. The people are the class system. Those of our comrades that denied us the opportunity yesterday, that we spoke to, that they championed the cause of the Unity Party coming to power. Where are they today? How many young people you see in ministerial positions, in director positions, in assistant and deputy minister positions? But it is only a George Weah that can make a general consultant, that can make him a manager. It is only a George Weah that can do that, who understands the price of the people. It is only a George Weah that say we must give the young forces the opportunity to develop this country. They say we were uneducated. But come to think about it, the propaganda what it did to this country. Today you talk about you talk about what? Yesterday George Weah went UAE, he brought money. He went France, he brought money. He went Europe, he brought money. He went America, he brought money. Even the Millennium Compass that they are celebrating today, it got approved under a George Weah. We set the basis. The roles that you are doing today.
They say it wasn't you. You did nothing.
No,
you
we
feel in
challenged
everything yours. Everything they have now was from their making, their good governance. Joseph Yema Boakai.
We challenged them, same. Where were they yesterday? The Millennium Compound was generated on our regime. We did the work. We did the funding. We did the actual work. We gave the international community the credibility that we're able to manage crisis. We managed COVID 3 years, uninterrupted 3 years, when the whole world was on its knees. Even the great America was on her knees. And in Liberia, we managed it.
They took their timing. They took their timing from 2023, from the moment Boakai took over. That's the calculation. That's how they arrived at their solution, that everything, the MCC compact, that they are eligible from what they've done, nothing from you.
But if they say 2023, then it's still contradicting themselves, because they took power in 2024. They took power on the 22nd of January 2024. And we were there. You know, what George Weah did was that, look, the man is gifted. The man understands. Look, the man look at Sam Andrew, who had the vision of change. That's what he did. He didn't just pick. The president picked people with vision, people that could implement. And our economy was stable here. We were having money coming in. We were having donors. We were pledging money. Oh, the last time that they gave a broad grant. But grants were coming during our time. And those grants were used. The ADB Bank, the African Development Bank. Look at the road from Ganta to Saclay-Pied, Saclay-Pied to Tapeta, Tapeta to Toaster, Toaster to Zradju, for Zradju to Facedown. It was secure on our government, and we were not credible. You think we would have secured the monies? We secured them. We consummated those deals. The money was given. Look at 4-year road. That's what George Weah did. Look at the road leading from Medina to Robertsport, where today they are healing. Why were you here? Why do you hate George Weah so much? Why do you hate CDC so much? What have we done? Our only crime is to develop this country. Our only crime has always been to think about this country, to develop this country. We are the real Liberians that won't change. And we are the people that say, no, people think that the George Weah cannot be president. We defy the oath. Today, when you saw in 2014 when Ebola came, you saw how the government never resuscitated, but we bounced back. 3 years. Consistently, we were paying people. We were paying civil servants. And they were getting their money up to now. They are not taking pay. Can they speak to that? How many civil servants have been added onto the current employment envelope? No, nothing. Even the children that suffer with them, they are yet to get employed. They are yet to have an opportunity. And this is why citizens are being chased out of their jobs. In Cape Mount, for example, the Unacra have committed, St. Andrew, that because I'm keeping King Job peaceful. The Unacra have committed because I'm a sedition. The Unacra have committed, and one representative say, imagine a representative who is not to the who should be thinking with international connection to create an avenue where we can have foreign scholarship with other foreign universities for his constituents. Is there fighting?
Okay, Jenica.
So this is wrong for our country. And
you've been following the Azon trial?
Oh, but you know, God will always beat them. The people are testifying against themselves. We don't need to bring racket. We don't need to go on our knees for prayer, brother. What's going to happen is that they will prosecute themselves, and the jurors will decide when that time is appropriate.
The latest, they are rejecting the experts report they brought in, the quote-unquote experts that Gregory Coma brought in. The prosecution, the prosecuting team is saying, no, they are not aware of it. They cannot use it. But Gregory Coma brought the people and say, yeah, the people concluded the fire, the people burned the place. It was burned intentionally. Yeah. So they should use that because Gregory Coma brought in his capacity as the police director.
And use our money.
Yeah. So if the prosecutors are saying they cannot accept that, they do not believe it, then if it is a serious country, Gregory Coma will be arrested, resigned, arrested, and prosecuted. Because it clearly shows convincingly that they know who burned the Capitol building, and they're only using these guys as accused surrogates.
But they should not worry. In 2029, when the people have spoken, we will march onto the capital, and we will ask the.
But 2029, yes, Jenica, we're getting closer. But with these things unfolding from the court that they can prove nothing, the various witnesses that they carry there told the court that everything was a makeup. There wasn't anything scientific. We just said those things. And can you imagine? Look at Augustine Fire, a man who claimed to be an acclaimed lawyer in this country, based everything on fallacy. And he was boastful that we have sufficient evidence. When the trial starts, you will see we'll prosecute them. And now the trial is on. They can't prove anything. Every day they will say, no, this one, we did not say this. We did not do this. So it means that they know. Look at the one from today. The police director who brought in
his own expert.
Yeah, his own lawyer, government lawyer saying, no, we believe that one. That thing is not true. In that part of our evidence, we can't use it yet. So then, why did he bring in those people?
Why you took that hell of money from our cover, and then you brought in the people, and every life they were living here, you were responsible. Every hotel they ever resided in,
using state resources.
And you had to pay those people to go back. Then you can't use that. What was the essence?
So it means that they subjected the people to lying to the public, gave the public the impression, yes, indeed, this was an arson. And they know who burned the Capitol building. They know.
When the president himself that just saw the outlook of the building and came and said it was people who burned it, why do you think he follow what we do?
So at this point in time, the international community is getting convinced that was just something that they planned within themselves, but it did not go as the way they wanted it. So they say, let's use these guys. They accuse the former speaker, accuse this person, accuse that person. That is exactly the situation. The international community is getting convinced now. And what I'm saying that we need not wait for 2029 with everything clear and convincing. You will see, take it, Jenica, you will see actions coming from the very international community that we think they are slow, they are not acting readily. I know how they have always performed. They take their time, they document, they assess all of their evidences. When the time comes, they take their action. You will see. Gregory Cuomo has placed again the police in another embarrassing character damage situation. The same police reports came out from the international community that on Abuaka, the police is dreadful, ruthless, predatory. Now, the police, the guys he brought in and bragged as experts, fire experts, even though people questioned their credential, he insisted that these people were professionals. Now, they say no, that thing we can't accept it. We can't use.
No, but you see, Sam, it is as a result of the investigative report that were carried out. Because you see, you forgot to know that those people serve the United States of America. They are responsible to live in conformity with the laws of the United States of America. So every report that was conducted here, the State Department received copy of the actual report. So that's the reason why they don't want to use it as an exhibit in amazing it within the trial process, because they know that there will be questions, because the man will testify. The same report they gave to America. America said, well, like, why are you saying? Because America is very slow. She's very slow, but she implements at the end of the day. Now, the reason why I'm saying 2029, the people are going to wake up. Trust me. Like I said in my intro, there will be a revolution. There will be a revolution. And that revolution will constitute the 15th sub-political division of this country. That revolution will come from the 15 counties, and they will converge in Monrovia, and there will be no Monrovia, where the people themselves will sit and say, we are tired, and that this must be a change, and that will be a citizen change. So America will support the idea, because they will look at the arson attack. They will say, no, we knew that these people did not do it. We knew that it was intentional. Because you cannot say a man bring down the capital, then you say that the man take less than 5, not even 5 minutes to be at the LEC headquarters. It's wrong. You can't say that. Because in the exhibit, they said the men were on the scene. In their first exhibit. Now, when their state witness, one of the investigators from the national police said,
Raphael.
No, Raphael said no, the men were at LEC. You're contradicting. So it is on that basis that they're looking at the flaw in the process. And let me tell you something. Speaker Kofa is a very good lawyer. And his team of lawyers are very good lawyers. Like you see, the chief lawyer, the chief prosecutor, not the chief
Arthur
prosecutor,
Johnson,
but the lead counsel,
Arthur Johnson.
He's one of Liberia's best. And he's making sure that the truths are revealed to the Liberian people. So like you said, we are waiting for the revolution. And when that revolution comes, the government and its officials shall account to the people. And when that time comes, the people will ask them to leave. And they themselves will walk away.
Okay, Jenica, thank you ever so much for stopping by to have this conversation. I appreciate it. We look forward to talking with you on issues as they unfold nationally in our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having me here today.
And this is how we go home on the show Real Talk Kings 88.5 to be back tomorrow if God permits. Tonight, you know exactly what it is, but before then, the news is on at 6 o'clock. King's News Brom. Join us for that at 6. And then at 8 o'clock, the doctor himself is in. The light of the land. Anthony at Law. Teacher Light. A.B. Wayan will face the issues. Until then, this is Kings 88.5. Shalom.